What will actually be America's next move in this ongoing Iran war, as Trump and Netanyahu sit down to weigh three major options laid out during their latest talks? Is a desperate Netanyahu now pitching his own new plans on Iran, even as Trump deliberately maintains suspense over which direction he ultimately intends to choose? Have Trump's actual options on Iran finally been revealed, narrowing down to a diplomatic deal, tighter economic sanctions, or one final massive military strike? Amid swirling rumors of a rift between the two leaders, has Netanyahu effectively bowed down to Trump, with officials openly describing the American president as the alliance's senior partner? Trump and Netanyahu reviewed three major options on how to handle Iran during their latest talks, even as tensions across the Middle East continued flaring up on multiple fronts. On July 29, an Israeli official revealed detailed insights to Reuters about exactly what was discussed behind closed doors during the Trump-Netanyahu talks. These discussions reportedly included three distinct paths forward: renewed diplomacy, tighter economic pressure, and the possibility of a massive new military strike. The official added that Netanyahu also presented several additional ideas of his own during these discussions, going beyond the three core options on the table. However, the official made clear that the final decision on how to proceed with Iran ultimately rests entirely with President Trump himself. Interestingly, Netanyahu reportedly did not press Trump to escalate military action against Iran during these particular discussions, despite earlier expectations. According to Reuters, Israel did not tell Washington that launching more attacks was actually its preferred option going forward in this conflict. The official added that the United States and Israel continue to share intelligence freely and without restrictions, maintaining close cooperation despite the sensitive discussions. Trump had earlier expressed genuine anger over leaks concerning sensitive discussions related to Pickaxe Mountain, viewing the disclosures as a serious breach of trust. Notably, Reuters reported that details of Israel's own intelligence plans had already emerged publicly even before this particular meeting took place. The official firmly rejected any suggestions that this leak had created a genuine rift between the two leaders or damaged their working relationship. In fact, Trump was specifically described as the senior partner within the broader US-Israel alliance, reinforcing where ultimate authority truly lies. This entire meeting took place as US-Iran tensions continued to escalate steadily across the wider Middle East, adding real urgency to every option under discussion. After meeting Netanyahu, President Trump orders a fresh wave of military strikes on Iranian targets. Donald Trump ordered US Central Command to launch fresh airstrikes on Iran, escalating the confrontation and raising questions about what could come next in the ongoing conflict. US Central Command statement read, and I quote, "US forces began launching strikes against Iran at 8 p.m. Eastern Time today. The strikes are a powerful response to yesterday's attempted Iranian attacks on US forces based in the Middle East," unquote. The CENTCOM statement further read, and I quote, "At 10 p.m. Eastern Time on July 29th, US Central Command forces successfully completed a heavy wave of strikes against Iran in response to yesterday's attempted missile attacks on US forces. CENTCOM assets struck dozens of Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps targets in Iran, including military command centers, missile and drone facilities, coastal surveillance and defense sites, and maritime capabilities. The strikes aim to further diminish threats posed by Iran and its proxies to American forces, commercial shipping, and neighboring Gulf countries." On July 28th, IRGC forces launched multiple ballistic missiles from Iran in an attempted surprise attack on US forces based in the Middle East. All Iranian missiles were successfully intercepted. More than 50,000 US service members are currently deployed to the Middle East and remain highly vigilant, focused, lethal, and ready. Unquote. 3 explosions were reported on Qeshm Island, according to Iran's Tasnim News, raising fresh questions about the extent of damage caused by US strikes. US strikes reportedly targeted locations in Abadan, located in Iran's Khuzestan province, as military pressure continues to build across key areas. Additional US missile strikes were also reported near Avaz, Shadgan, and Avandkana, expanding the list of locations affected in the latest wave of attacks. Although, an Iranian official did not provide details on possible casualties, leaving the extent of the damage and human impact unclear. This comes as Donald Trump's warning against Iran appears to have turned into the latest series of strikes, marking another major development in the growing confrontation. Washington says it's now America's turn to respond as tensions with Tehran spiral once again.
On the attack, the drone attack on the LNG tanker off of Egypt, what can you tell us about that, and is there any indication it's Iran-related? Does it represent a
Well, I can give you a report. I've been briefed. It's a little more of the same, but it's going to be straightening out. It's going to be straightening out. In the meantime, we're going to be hitting them very hard because it's our turn to hit them. They know it's coming. They're asking us not to do it, but they tried shooting it last night. So we had 5 rockets shot going 8,500 miles an hour, and all 5 rockets were knocked down to the ground. But they nevertheless took a shot, so it's our turn. And we'll see if we get there with an agreement at some point, but we're going to hit them very hard.
Iran reportedly fired first, prompting President Trump to authorize immediate retaliatory strikes. Trump's retaliation campaign begins with firepower after reports claimed Iran launched 5 missiles. After what officials described as a surprise Iranian attack, Trump vowed, "We got to smack them," before ordering a military response.
Under what scenario do you see Iran attacking U.S. installations and personnel overseas and you withdrawing?
I don't see that. No, we're not. No, we're gonna hit them very hard. I mean, I can actually say that because there's very little they can do about it. It was a different group than we're dealing with. They've already apologized, but we got to smack them a little bit.
Mr. President, are you going to hit back when they strike?
Will I always hit back?
Yes.
Pretty much. Yes.
Mr. President, just one point clarity on that, sir. Is that in response to the attempted ballistic missile strike on Jordan last night? When you say it's our turn to hit back?
Yeah, I think more so that, because it was another smaller event. But no, they sent 5 8,000-mile-an-hour missiles at us. And fortunately, we had our people operating the greatest equipment in the world, namely the Patriot system. Think of it, 5 missiles going 8,600 miles an hour, big ones, coming right at us, and all 5 were shot down. How about that, right? Pretty good. Nobody else could do that but us, yeah.
Trump also revealed American troops had only a few critical minutes to intercept the surprise assault before it reached its targets. Despite the fresh escalation, Trump insisted diplomatic talks with Iran would continue even as military tensions spiraled across the region. The remarks came after Iranian forces launched fresh strikes on U.S. bases on July 28, while Trump was meeting Benjamin Netanyahu. The IRGC later released dramatic footage claiming to show ballistic missiles being fired toward a U.S. airbase in Jordan.